Trish has been getting involved, more boys have been stepping forward. Welcome back to Cookian's Courtroom. Today we're going to be talking all about the latest huge, massive James Charles scandal. James Charles is a 21-year-old beauty YouTuber based in Los Angeles, and he's recently found himself in a huge scandal. Now, me and James go back many years, and let me tell you, this gets messy. Trisha Paytas has been speaking out against James Charles, and so have multiple other boys. Today, I'm just going to get straight into the evidence. Let's get into the video. Before we start, if you are new here, be sure to smash the like button every time you do a titty flies into space. And also, Queens, leaving a like on the video just lets me know that you've enjoyed it, and it actually does make a huge difference, not just for the algorithm and stuff like that, but for me as well. So straight into the video. In a series of now deleted tweets, another Instagram user claims that when he was 17 years old, James Charles reached out to him, and although nothing got sexual, it was still kind of strange. Here are the screenshots. In the video, I introduced myself and I said I was 17. In the photo he sent, he continued to flirt and said he thought I was a catfish and that I was cute. It never got sexual, just wanted to put this out as many guys have had similar experiences with him. I'm going to read the screenshots to you as well, just so you can see what was happening in the conversation. James Charles said, "I appreciate it. Is that you in the photos you posted?" And he said, "Yes, of course," and sent a video of himself. "I look terrible right now, haha." And then James sent a photo back. And then the guy said, "Oh my God, I'm terrified." And James said, "LMAO, it's not that deep." And then he sent 2 videos back. And then in January, James said, "Hello." So it's very interesting. It does look like this boy was obviously pursuing conversation with James. It wasn't like James was just preying on him and sending him messages out of the blue. There's obviously a two-way conversation happening here. It doesn't make it any less questionable that James is obviously speaking to boys that are 17, 16 years old. And the final tweet in the sequence says, "And it never got sexual, but it was still weird how he continued to talk to me and flirt with me after I told him I was 17. But keep hearing many other guys speak up about it. I wanted to share." This is not just a one-off. There is another boy that's come forward that posted an 8-part series with some tweets talking about his interaction with James Charles, claiming that James was asking him for nude photographs. A lot of these do tend to revolve around TikTok as well, which is more concerning because TikTok tends to be a platform more centered around like the ultra young people. So there is space for everyone and there's lots of different niches, but there is a lot of content, specifically 17, 16-year-old boys and girls making content for other 16 and 17-year-old boys and girls. So TikTok is actually pretty much a breeding ground, I imagine, for this kind of sort of semi-creepy behavior, because that's the app that the young kids are on nowadays. Now, according to someone that goes by the name of Life of Fuzzy, he contacted James Charles on Instagram after the massive feud that happened with Tati Westbrook, which you can check out in my last video I posted yesterday or the day before yesterday. They then got into a conversation on Snapchat, which is when Life of Fuzzy said that things started to get weird with James Charles. He claims that James Charles asked him for a photograph of his pee-pee. Very inappropriate. Let's just read the conversation screenshots that were put here as well. So James Charles said, "Oh, I didn't think you were real, lol." And then the guy replies, "Well, now you know I am, haha. Wanna talk on Snap? More safer and easier than DMs. We'll just go with the flow, you know?" And then James said, "Send another video here introducing yourself first." And then he said, "All right." So another thing which is kind of questionable here as well, you have to remember, is these are all after Dramageddon. James already been accused of being a predator. So if James does want to be safe and make sure he's not with minors, it would be smart for him to be asking those sorts of questions early on, but he's not in any of these conversations. He's not asking, "Are you 18 years or older?" Which again, we mentioned in the last video. I do kind of feel like it's basic. Like if you're into people that look like children, that sort of age group of like 16-year-old skinny boys, I do think it would be sensible to be asking that question early on, but that's my opinion. I've got another screenshot on the 24th of May of James Charles adding someone as a friend and sending them a message. Now, with regard to this message, Life of Fuzzy's brother actually recorded what was happening on his phone when he saw they got a message from James Charles. So I'm going to include the video on the screen now.
Ew.
The caption in the video reads, "The only reason I started recording my convo with James was because I was positive he was manipulating me at that time. He was so demanding that he was even trying to video call me. And he did catch on camera James Charles trying to start a video chat with him on Snapchat," which I must say, I don't think anyone's ever tried to do that with me before, actually. Now, my Snapchat used to be open, like wide open to the public, until it got harassed with people sending nudes, like men sending nudes. So despite that experience for me, no one ever tried to call me. So I do think it's kind of forward to start a video call with someone, right? And also, I think you could see from the video, like the guy that's like holding the phone that was obviously Snapchatting James, he looks very, 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 very young. Like this isn't like a, "Oh, I didn't know" situation. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it just me that's thinking like, it doesn't matter if you're a 21-year-old man or a 50-year-old man or a 60-year-old man or a 40-year-old man, like When it comes to dating people, if someone literally looks like a child, like the kind of person that you would tutor in maths because they're doing their like GCSEs, like it's too young, right? And regardless of sexual preference, like you would ask ID. Is it just me that thinks that? You would check ID. Like some people commented on yesterday's video, I think James is just naive and he's got caught up with the wrong crowd, but I genuinely think that it's children. Like James isn't stupid, he's very smart with these sorts of things. And I think he's just so thirsty and he thinks that he can get away with it. That's what seems to be happening here, because these children are not outsmarting James Charles. Like these are literally children, right? They're literally 15, 16-year-old boys. Now, the boy that we originally spoke about that came forward and said that James was trying to sext him and ask for nudes and stuff like that, posted something on Snapchat basically saying he's going to the police. I'm going to show you the photograph and read the caption. So the caption says, "On the way to the police station, bye sister." This is the boy that was 16 years old and was allegedly sexting James, and James was sending him nude photographs of James's bomb and other bits and pieces. He later said in a video that the police were going through his phone. As always, I'm going to give you any updates that happen with that because we do want to know what happens. Now, it's just worth mentioning here, there is a podcast in which James, you know, mentioned that he's attracted to younger guys and stuff like that. So I'm going to include that here.
So the thing is, for me, I'm 21, but like I said, I have the mentality of a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
So for me, like I'm much more mentally and emotionally mature than a lot of people my age. I'm not physically attracted to older guys, which sucks. Like I would date like the absolute youngest, like 18, 19 that looks a little bit old.
Now, really awkwardly, James almost tried to act like nothing had happened. And he just did like a good morning tweet, like good morning with a sunny face, just to kind of like move on the conversation, which is kind of awkward because there's more and more people coming out with their experiences. And these are young boys coming out with their experiences. And someone responded back to him saying, "I don't think you can notice that pure way out of this, James." Notes app. I don't know. I found it really funny that they like merged the words. Is it just me? I thought it was funny. James responded back, "I'm not trying to get out of anything. No matter what happened, it was unacceptable, embarrassing, and I should have taken the extra steps to research the person I was talking to. There is no excuse. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. This is on me." So I don't really get that because again, it's almost like it's all about how bad he feels in the situation as opposed to him calling the other guy a liar that's like 16. So it was unacceptable, embarrassing. Like he's talking about how it's embarrassing for him. What about the boy that's like 16 that you're accusing of being a liar, right? That's now going to the police. There's still a discord here between what James is saying and what the boy is saying. And that's something worth mentioning here as well, because the boy actually came through with some receipts. Something that was really interesting was Trisha, who's, you know, been getting in with the beauty crew and then fell out with all of them. As per everyone that gets involved with the beauty crew, James, Jeffrey, Tati, Nikki, all those people tweeted out about this. And Trisha's tweet was kind of funny, so I'm just going to read it out to you. Trisha said, "Imagine sending your nudes to minors and still tweeting like everything is okay. Hold, creators accountable. This isn't an oops, I'm sorry. This is a go to jail. Do not pass go. Do not click a $200 Morphe brand deal." You know, Trisha's one of those people. I can't decide if she's a horrible person or like secretly a kind person, but sometimes her tweets or whatever, she just make me laugh, right? Like she took the situation and her brain just decided to turn it into like a Monopoly joke. It's really funny because in the grand scheme of things, James has played the beauty community like a game of chess, and he has played creators, he has played drama channels, he has played people that have been close to him, his own friends from my experience and people I've heard from, and now it seems like he's playing minors. And I think this is what happens regardless of whether every single young boy that's coming out is lying or not. People are ready to turn on James because they have seen him as being a social climber and as using people, and people don't have loyalty towards him anymore. People that took a chance on him, me included, that were willing to stick up for him, aren't willing to do that anymore when there's really no facts to support him. Like, I don't feel now like it's worth playing devil's advocate and saying maybe everyone might just be lying for attention. It doesn't look like that. James has no hard evidence. Everyone else is coming through with evidence, and it looks really bad. Someone called Ryan said, "If you know James Charles, does it not weird you out that he's constantly reaching out to high schoolers on social media?" Someone said, "James Charles posting that statement confirming that he sent his 16-year-old nudes begging for naked shower videos in return. His career burning." This is fine. It's so controversial. Like, how many times can someone get cancelled? I feel like he's going to try and be the next Jeffrey. Jeffrey went how many times, like, kind of wriggling out with being cancelled. Racism, violence, more racism, manipulation. But then eventually he got caught. Part of me is like, is it James's turn left as the last one standing? D'Angelo Wallace said, "Sorry if it seems like I'm shouting into the void, but my main point is this James Charles situation is so clearly predatory. Man trades porn with child who looks up to him, claims he didn't know age, brackets again, close brackets. I guess that's all I have to say right now. I'm just like bothered." Laura Lawson said, What's a girl got to do to get everyone to quit rehabilitating the reputation of James Charles? What is this? Like the third time now he's being exposed as massively shady. 4th, 18th? It's always something with this guy. I almost feel like James has this narcissistic streak to his personality where he really feels like he can get away with anything because he's God, and he will keep repeating this behaviour time and time again. And yes, he gets smarter. Yes, he tries to avoid it. I think he's earned more than he could ever imagine earning in his wildest dreams. And I think he's used to sort of seeing people as being less than him, and he can use people and he knows how to get away with it, right? Very much like the Jeffrey situations we saw years ago. He's almost like the new Jeffree Star, right? You know, where Jeffrey had a history of violence, and also there was a lot of accusations about him with minors. It does also seem now like James, you know, whilst he's managed to somewhat dodge the racist card despite the KKK drama and the Ebola scandal, it does seem like he's almost getting involved with the minors thing. Why is it that people that get into positions of power, often white men, get involved with paedophilia? Why is that a thing? Like, I've always wondered that, whether it's politics. I mean, go back through British politics, back to Thatcher's time, there's like a whole community of people surrounding Margaret Thatcher that were importing young boys. It does kind of creep me out. We had Thomas Halbert a few years ago talking to a minor and sending nudes. We had various other people. We had this whole thing with Jeffrey, this whole thing with James. What is it with white men thinking they can get away with literally anything when it comes to young boys? I don't understand it. And this is why I don't think we can just attack men, because it's men attacking men, right? So it's kind of like, it's not like you can just blame all men for it, right? Anyway, I'm very interested to hear what you think about this. Hugely controversial, pretty disgusting. But again, we need to wait for the facts to come out. The boy says he's gone to the police. We have to see what happens. I'm sure it will be posted publicly if it's true, if it's not true. Snapchat might get involved given that they have the evidence in their servers. So we will have to see what happens. But I want to say a huge thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button. It helps me out massively. I'm making a big comeback to YouTube and every like helps. If I can reach 1,000 likes on the video, I know it's a long way away, but it would be a huge help for me. So every like counts. So thank you for liking the video. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.